Hey, what's going on, train lovers? This is Rail Chief here, and welcome back to another product review here on my channel. As always, my name is Mike, and we have a really great show for you all today. Now, for those of you who remember, I did a little product review on all of the Lionel F3s that I have in my collection. So in today's video, I figured I showed you all the Berkshires that I have here in my collection today. So let's not waste any more time and get on with the video here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So to start this review off right, we need to go all the way back to 1946. Because in 1946, Lionel introduced their first model of the 284 Berkshire. Modeled after the Boston and Albany Berkshires at the time, Lionel used some slight modifications from the pre-war 226E locomotive. So in 1946, Lionel introduced the 726 locomotive. The engine had some very nice features, including a worm gear motor, as well as a light bulb smoke unit. But in 1950, Lionel made some modifications to the engine, including adding magnet traction as well as a new smoke unit. The outside of the locomotive also had a couple of changes here and there as well, including some new drive wheels instead of the old Baldwin drive wheels that were on the 726. Lionel also replaced the trailing trucks in the back with plastic trailing trucks in 1955. The 726 also had a plug inside the motor which allowed you to operate the E-unit, but instead in 1950, Lionel added a switch to the top of the shell. You can also see that the window struts in the back of the cab have been broken off. That's actually kind of common on some of these later 736 engines. But other than that, she's a really great runner, and I picked her up at the Greenberg train show back in 2015. But before we show her running on the layout here, let's go ahead and jump on over to our next locomotive. Our next engine on the list here is this 759 nickel-plate road numbered 113 from Williams by Bachmann. Now there really isn't a whole lot to talk about when it comes to this engine, other than that it's a remake of the original Lionel 726 locomotive from 1946. I also picked this engine up at the Greenberg train show, and so far I've only had it for like 9 years or so. Now I don't really know a whole lot about Williams trains, other than they've been around since 1973, when they were trying to remake iconic Lionel train sets from the 50s and the 60s. They've also worked with companies such as MTH to make some very nice looking brass locomotives. And you can actually still buy Williams trains today at train shows. And just like with the 726, the 759 here has some very nice features, just like the original did. Now if we flip the locomotive over towards the underside, we can see that there is a little builder's plate on the bottom of the contact shoes. And this indicates that this is a Williams reproduction, also known as their classic reproduction line of trains. The 759 is a very handsome model, like I said earlier before. We got two nice looking white stripes going along the side of the cab. We have the swinging bell in the front, as well as the whistle. We also got some very nice looking handrail features, including some pipes on the side of the shell. The locomotive also features Baldwin drivers, just like on the original 726 locomotive. We also have the 4 window struts intact, as well as a die-cast 4-wheel trailing truck. And this engine actually runs off a DC motor, which runs pretty good. I mean, when you turn the engine on, it's a little bit jerky, as well as when you turn the locomotive off. But other than that, it's a very nice runner, and I will be showing you guys this engine in operation as well at the end of this video. Okay, so the final locomotive in the collection here is this 4103 Lionel Line Sheet Plus Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Berkshire. Now, just like with the Williams 759, this is also a remake of the iconic 726 Berkshire from 1946. So in case you guys have guessed it by now, but this locomotive was also purchased from the Greenberg train show, and I've had this engine for about 5 years. The 4103 actually made its appearance in the Lionel Volume 1 2017 catalog, I believe, and there were actually a couple of other Berkshires as well, including a nickel plate road version, an Illinois Central, and a Lionel F 726 reproduction as well, just to name a couple. The engine does have a couple of nice new features as well, including the Baldwin drivers. The smoke box is painted silver, as well as the boiler front of the locomotive. And Lionel also did add a golden bell and whistle as well, so that actually adds a really nice touch to the engine. And as a bonus, the front boiler actually swings open, which allows you to change the light bulb, and the boiler front is actually magnetized as well. So that about wraps it up for this video. I'm actually planning to do a part 3 featuring the Jeeps that I have in my collection next. So I hope you all have enjoyed today's little video that I put together. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And please don't forget to hit the notification bell down below for any other projects that I upload. But until next time, thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all in my next episode. Thanks again, and take care.